Hi, I'm Grace. I'm a junior at Hartselle High School, and yesterday James talked about the beginning of Job's story and how Satan had control of all of Job's possessions and how Job lost it all, but still he remained faithful to God and worshiped God. So through it all, God had a plan for Job's life. Job didn't understand why this was happening to him when he had been faithful to God through it all, but God knew. He could see, the end game. He could see how this was going to impact people in the future. If you look back in chapter 1 of Job, verse 8 says, "Then the Lord said to Satan, Have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man, one who fears God and shuns evil?" So it's actually God who came to Satan and said, look at my servant Job, and how good he is, that started the whole thing where Satan was like, well, he only loves you because, you haven't done anything to him. And so God saw that doing this was going to impact people in the future. Even now, years and years later, there's a whole book in God's Word called Job that just tells the story of Job's suffering and God using him. So in verse 13 of chapter 12, this is Job talking about God. It says, "With him are wisdom and strength. He has counsel and understanding." So through all the suffering that Job went through, he saw the wisdom, strength, counsel, and understanding that God had, and he understood that God was using him to further God's kingdom. So even though everyone around Job was they're give it up, just even his wife said, "Do you still hold fast to your integrity? Curse God and die." But he said to her, "You speak as one of the foolish women speaks. Shall we indeed accept good from God and not adversity?" And so he's saying that just because you go through tough times, God is always with you, and that he can use those tough times to further his kingdom. So even now, it doesn't matter if you're going through a global pandemic or just a personal struggle or just a small question that you have that you feel like God hasn't answered. You can trust God that he loves you and has the best plan for you, and he can see the overall plan that you might not even be able to see any time in your life. Romans 8:28 says, "All things work together for the good of those who love God." And so you can know that through the struggles that you might be going through, or the struggles that you've had before or are going to face, that God is with you through all of those, and that he can use those to further his kingdom. And so I just encourage you today, if you're sitting at home not doing anything because you can't go anywhere and are quarantined to your house, why don't you read through Job and just see how the struggles that he's going through, similar to the struggles that you might be going through, and how he stayed true to God, and it could just encourage you to stay true to God too. So thank you.